Hello, everyone. It's good to see you again. I hope you all have had a great week. Um, as you probably know, I used to be a teacher and I taught kindergarten, first, second, and third grade throughout the years. And one thing that in every grade level, the kids would always play with blocks during inside recess. And every single year, no matter what, they would say, Miss Wilkinson, come look at this really tall tower I built. And they would always try to build it so tall that eventually it would tip over because they made it so tall. And they were always so proud of themselves every time that they were able to build it up high and it wouldn't fall over. And that kind of reminds me of our story that we're going to talk about today. So let me pull up my PowerPoint. We're going to talk about the Tower of Babel. And that's coming from Genesis 11. If you haven't read it yet, because I didn't post it yesterday, if you haven't read it yet, you can stop right now and read it. It's verses 1 through 9. But if you want to just listen along and read it later, you can do that too. So last week we talked about Noah and how all the people of the world became evil except for Noah. And God flooded the earth. So the only family that was left was Noah's family. Well, Noah's family had children, and then their children had children, and their children had children. And you get the picture. There were all kinds of people all over the earth now. And all of these people spoke one language. So no matter where you went, everybody spoke the same language. And the people got together and they started talking and they decided that they wanted to build a city and build one of those really tall towers, kind of like my students used to do with the blocks, except this one was an actual building that they were going to go inside. And the tower, they wanted it to go up all the way up to heaven. Now, building a tower is not wrong, and trying to get to God isn't wrong. We want to be with God. The problem here is they weren't doing it for those reasons. They weren't doing it to get closer to God. They were doing it because they were wanting to show just how powerful they were and how smart they were. And they wanted everybody to look at them and think they were great instead of looking at God thinking he was great. Well, they started to build this tower, and God saw it, and he did not like it. He didn't like that the people were not looking to him. They were looking towards themselves to make themselves look better. So I'm going to read to you. This is verse 5. The Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the descendants of Adam were building. The Lord said, "They are one people with one language. This is only the beginning of what they will do. Now nothing they plan to do will be too difficult for them. Let us go down there and mix up their language so they won't understand each other." So that's exactly what God did. He came down and everyone spoke the one language, but now he changed it so everybody was speaking a different language. Have you ever been somewhere and someone's speaking in a different language and you couldn't understand them? One time we went to a birthday party for one of Charlie Kate's friends, and everyone at the birthday party spoke Spanish. We were the only people there who spoke English, and it was super confusing. We didn't know what to do. Thankfully, her friend came over and told us. She helped us out. Same kind of thing happened here. The people couldn't work together as well. And because of this, they all scattered around. You can see in this little visual here that they scattered around to different places on the earth. Verse 8 says, "So the Lord scattered them all over the face of the earth, and they stopped building the city. This is why it was named Babel, because there the Lord turned the language of the whole earth into Babel. From that place, the Lord scattered them all over the face of the earth." So those are the first 9 verses. If you want, you can go ahead and read the rest of Genesis 11. And if you have time this week, try building a really tall tower and see how high you can get it. But if you make it super duper high, make sure that you find some way to thank God for your ability to do that, because you had to use your brain to do that. God gave you your brain. You had to use some objects to do it, like cups or blocks or something, and you can thank God that you have those toys. Just do something to be kind to other people and give God the glory. Everybody have a great rest of the week. See you later.